The concept of hell is often depicted as a place of never-ending suffering, a realm ruled by demonic entities where souls are condemned to eternal torment. Heaven, on the other hand, is described as a sanctuary of perpetual bliss, ruled over by God, filled with tranquility and everlasting joy. Before I continue this video, it's important to clarify that I have deep respect for all faiths and religions. The intent here is not to challenge beliefs but to offer an alternative perspective. Have you ever considered that heaven and hell might be metaphorical interpretations rather than literal destinations? My own journey has led me to believe that many religious teachings, including those found in sacred texts like the Bible, are symbolic in nature. They are symbolic narratives designed to communicate profound truths about human nature and the universe. For example, when religious texts talk about God, they may actually be referring to the universal consciousness, a formless entity that is at the root of all existence. In the same way, the so-called devil or evil force could symbolize the human ego, which, when unchecked, leads to suffering. Now let's consider this: consciousness isn't something that can be localized or confined to any specific form or entity. It's unbounded, and is the essence of everything. So, in a way, you are not separate from this universal consciousness, you are an expression of it. Our bodies are just like cars we drive, they're not really us. They don't define our true selves. If we understand this concept, the notions of heaven and hell could then be understood as states of being, heaven as a state of unity with the universal consciousness and hell as a state of separation, influenced by ego and material desires. In summary, spiritual teachings may be far more complex than literal interpretations allow. They could be coded wisdom about the nature of reality, designed to guide us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe. The body you inhabit is essentially a medium for your consciousness to express and experience itself. Think about it, your body exists within your consciousness, not the other way around. These physical forms, these bodies, are merely things we are aware of. You can't truly be something you're aware of, because you are the observer of that thing. Your experiences, your thoughts, your feelings, they can't define you because you are the one who is aware of them. Imagine tuning into your own consciousness, becoming aware of your own awareness, awakening to your true essence. When you do that, you'll find that the observer within you is untouched by the world's turmoil, be it emotional, mental, or circumstantial. This observer is always at peace. It's ever present, never suffering, always accepting. It has been there all along, unnoticed, in the background of your life. It's boundless and limitless. In this space, there's no room for suffering. It's a sanctuary of sorts, the pure essence of what many call God, and it's also the core of who you are. Religious teachings often ask us to put our faith in God, to trust in a higher power. But what if they are actually nudging us toward a more profound realization, that the divinity we seek is not external but within us? We are not separate from this divine essence, we are one and the same. That's because there is, ultimately, only one true essence, one true being. You and I are interconnected. You are not just you, isolated from the world. You are also the environment around you, the trees that provide you shade, the birds that sing for you, and even the wind that brushes past you. All of this is the divine essence, often referred to as God. Some people wonder, if I am God, then why can't I perform miracles? That's because we're experiencing divinity through the limitations of human existence. Understanding this can be challenging, given the teachings we've absorbed throughout our lives. It requires a change in perspective, a shift in understanding. I respect the difficulty of this intellectual and spiritual journey, but it's essential to grasp the reality of our shared divinity. Now, let's talk about the darker aspects, often referred to as the devil, but which I argue is better understood as our ego. When you reach a state of pure awareness, a state of being completely present, you'll notice that suffering doesn't have a place there. Suffering is absent where divine essence or God is present because ego, the root of all suffering, can't coexist with pure consciousness. If you find yourself immersed in thoughts, then you aren't fully in the moment. The ego thrives in the maze of your thoughts, sustaining itself on your fears, regrets, and anxieties. Suffering, in essence, is a construct of the mind, brought to life by the ego. If you find yourself suffering, it's because you've allowed your ego to take the driver's seat. Hell is not a place you go, it's a mental state you can find yourself in. You've probably heard the saying that, hell is a state of mind, and I couldn't agree more. The ego is the voice in your head telling you that you're not good enough, that you should be afraid, that you should regret your past and worry about your future. The devil or the ego fears your awakening because it knows that its dominion over your life will cease the moment you become conscious of your true nature. The truth is that there's no real distinction between you and Jesus, or you and anyone else for that matter. We are all manifestations of the same universal consciousness. You are not only a drop in the ocean, but you are also the ocean in a drop. You embody everyone who has ever lived, everyone who has died, and everyone who will ever come into existence. When you understand this, when you truly grasp that your existence is not separate from the eternal, then you transcend the ego, and suffering has no more room to exist within you. Many people get confused by complicated religious rules when they're looking for life's meaning. Yet, if we pause and dive deep into the depths of our consciousness, we may find answers more profound than any scripture could offer. The idea is simple yet revolutionary: you are not separate from the divine, you are an expression of it. Let's continue with heaven and hell, concepts often misunderstood and misrepresented. These aren't mystical realms waiting for us after death, they are states of consciousness we can experience right here, right now. Hell is the agony we feel when we are lost in our thoughts, fears, and illusions. Heaven, on the other hand, is the serenity and peace that arise from living in the present moment, free from the shackles of our ego. Now think about God, often portrayed as a distant figure watching us from the heavens. What if God is not a being outside of us, but the essence of who we really are? This consciousness, this universal awareness, is not separate from you, it is you. Can you imagine how life-changing it would be if everyone came to this realization? Wars would cease, love would permeate the very air we breathe, and the world would know peace. Of course, I don't claim to have all the answers. But I invite you to ponder these thoughts and see if they resonate with you. Make your research, but I am sure you will reach to the same answers. The beauty of non-duality is that it shows us that not only are we all connected, but we are also one and the same, mere reflections of the singular consciousness that is often called God. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I sincerely appreciate your open-mindedness and curiosity, so you can leave a comment below.